Hey, this is Trevor from TFK, and you're listening to Dispatch Radio.
Folks, you heard us talk about the Dove Awards. That's in October the 7th, and we have an award nomination. We As Human is I'm going to start again, Justin. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. No problem.
That's why pre-record works great.
There you go.
Take two, right?
Yeah.
You guys heard us talk about the Dove Awards. That's October 7th, and there was a nomination there that we covered more specifically. We as Human has two nominations, Best Rock Song, Best Rock Album. We have the lead singer on with us, Justin Cordle. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm good. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, congratulations, man. It's great to see that happen for you guys. I know you've had a lot of good luck in the past with Strike Back and some stuff like that, but Take the Bullets Away is doing great, but now we have this big nomination coming down, Zombie, the rock album. Things are going well for you, brother.
Yeah, we're really excited. We weren't. I wasn't even thinking about the Dove Awards this year. We've been so busy on the road and just kind of doing our thing out there that it was kind of the farthest thing from my mind. So when it came across that we'd been nominated for not one but two categories, we were pretty ecstatic for sure.
For you guys that are listening to us here local in the greater Tampa Bay area live, they will also be joining us at Night of Joy. I shouldn't say joining us. I won't be able to attend, so unless you're going to throw me a VIP pass, Justin, I don't think I'm going to be there. But be at Night of Joy, that'll be a great experience. We had a great time covering those over the years. Rock the Universe, Night of Joy is a big deal down in Orlando. Folks are headed that way. You should have a good time with that. Have you done anything like that before?
We played Night of Joy last year, and then the year before that we played the Rock the Universe, I think it's called, at Universal Studios.
All right, so good. So you know what you're in for.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're super excited. This year, we're going to take our whole family, all of our families down with us down to Disney World. They're going to spend a couple days down there with us and just have a good time. We love. That's kind of one thing that's fun about the summer season for us. We call it festival season because you just do festivals all summer long. We've been playing a lot of theme parks. We've been playing a bunch of Six Flags and like Disney World and Universal Studios and stuff. So it's great to. Our families obviously love it. Our kids love it. Our wives love it. They get to go ride roller coasters and see Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And my wife, her nickname since she was really young has been Minnie, and so because she loves Minnie Mouse so much, so this is actually going to be her first time ever going to Disney World. So that'll be a pretty special occasion there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if she's never been before, she has no idea what she's in for. Then, brother. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic news. All right, so you're a big roller coaster rider.
I am, yeah. I wasn't growing up. I was terrified of them. In fact, the first roller coaster I ever rode, my older brother Jason actually ripped. I was wearing an overshirt, but he ripped it off of me trying to get me onto this roller coaster, and I just would not do it. And so I think I finally did when I was younger, and I was just terrified of them. And then I think back in like 2009, we were down in California, got on this roller coaster called X2. And it just kind of hit me. It's like, wait, I was always terrified they're going to break. And then I was going to go flying off into the universe and smash down and die. And it's going to be this horrific. That's what I was afraid of. I know it's insane, but it finally hit me one day. I started thinking about it logically. I'm like, wait a second. These things run, across the world tens of thousands of times a day. They're not going to break. And just kind of in that moment, all my fear just kind of went away, and I've been a roller coaster junkie ever since then, man. Like, the taller and faster, the better. I love them.
All right, so you're coming to Florida. Have you come over to Busch Gardens at all?
We haven't, no.
Oh, so you may have to Google that up, brother, and take a look at Busch Gardens. Is got about 6 or 7, and they are fantastic. So they put everything they put everything at Disney and Universal to shame. So there's my free plug for Busch Gardens. Man, they need to call in and support an ad.
There we go.
So tell everybody a little bit about the new album and what they can expect. It is self-titled, and it's got a couple great songs on it.
Yeah, we think so. We've been real excited about it. It's been a great album to tour on. It's been a great album for us personally because it's just writing it was really fun. We wrote about 55 songs for that album and ended up recording 13 of those songs and then actually releasing 10 from the 13 that we've recorded. And the album doesn't really have a theme. Necessarily, it's just a bunch of different stories. I really love storytelling. I love I love everything about being able to tell a story in a song. That's why I'm a big country music fan, because they tell such great stories. And so I've brought that over into the rock world, and I tell stories about family members, about friends, about love, loss, just about all sorts of different situations that we run into in everyday life. And so our album, there's really something on there for everybody, no matter what kind of a mood you're in. You know, one day I wrote, toward the last two songs that I wrote, it was funny. I wrote a song on our album called Strike Back, which was our first mainstream rock single, and actually it was nominated for Rock Song of the Year last year.
Yeah.
And
yep.
I wrote that second to last, and so I kind of got all my aggression out. I think I wrote that on a Tuesday, if I remember right, believe it or not. And then the next day on a Wednesday, because I'd kind of got all my angst out the day before, I turned around and wrote a song called We Fall Apart, and kind of broke some of my own songwriting rules, one of them being I never write with the word beautiful. I just don't use that word. If I ever want to use that word, if it's a good rhyme, I try to find another way of expressing that same kind of an emotion. So it's just there's songs all over the place on this record that kind of touch all points of life and the human heart. And so we've just been really excited hearing the stories that people have been telling us, what this song's been doing for them. Everything from this young woman who was being bullied and attempted suicide several times. Then she ended up hearing our song "Take the Bullets Away," the one we did with Lacey Stern from Flyleaf, or formerly of Flyleaf, I guess. And she ended up hearing that song and giving her life to Christ and kind of turning her life around. We just hear stories like this all the time. So it's been a great record, and it's done more than we ever thought that or dreamed that it would. So we're feeling pretty fortunate right now.
Now, John Cooper from Skillet was kind of credited as discovering you guys. I know he gets to appear on the album with you on Zombie, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What is it like? What does it mean to you to work with John and be able to be a part of the album and a part of your career like this?
John Cooper. I can't say enough good things about that dude.
That's what I'm doing. I'm throwing you a softball. I'm throwing John a softball. Let's just plug John for a moment.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. He's a one-of-a-kind character, that's for sure. I don't know anybody else in my life that is like John Cooper. So we were discovered by him. Somebody just kind of randomly gave him, when a friend of mine was a runner at a show, when Skillet was playing in Spokane, Washington, ended up flipping him one of our EPs, and he liked it. He liked it a lot. And he called his manager, and his manager called me, and then John eventually called me, and we met up. I'm making a really long story short. And that kind of was the beginning of our relationship. And we have since then, I was back in 2010, I guess. We have since then, in the last 4 years, just kind of built this incredible relationship. I mean, I feel like he's my brother, you know. He's just been there for us and helped us so much, and we've done so much together. We've literally done hundreds of shows together now, and just endless touring together in the last 4 years. I think we've done almost every United States tour date together in the last 4 years. It's been insane. But he's a great dude, and you know what I love about Skillet, Jen, Seth, and Corey and John. What I love about them is that they're just they're exactly what you would hope that they would be. You know, they're really down to earth, and they're all a little crazy, which is good, and just really fun people. So John has been awesome, and then having him on our album with us on Zombie, you know, was really cool. So what I think is funny is that John is going to win and lose on the Dove Awards. Yeah, I mean, depending on whether we win and they lose, or they win and we lose, he's on both songs. He sang with me on Zombie, and also Skillet's nominated. And so even if we end up winning, he still wins. Which I don't know how he played that angle so well, but he's got it figured out apparently.
Give him like a little statue. Give him a little.
We'll give him like a little wing off of the
like a mini. Maybe. Yeah, give him like a little mini version. They're great songs, and folks, you've heard us play snippets of that on our intro and outro music here. Hero is one of my daughter's favorite songs of all time, so I'm reminded about it once a month to make sure that I have Hero in the rotation, so you guys have heard Skillet regularly. And we're going to be adding a lot more of We As Human, especially over the next month or so as we gear up for some definite show dates around the country in September and October and beyond. Of course, we'll be plugging Night of Joy for the rest of this month and next weekend. So, Justin, as you move forward and you start to put together, you talked about 55 songs just to whittle it down to 10. And do you play the other 3 that you recorded? Do you still kind of hack away at those other 30, 40 song ideas, just kind of keep working through them and maybe they kind of manifest into the next album? Or are you kind of a clean slate guy where you're like, nope, I'm going back to the drawing board?
No, I'm definitely not a clean slate guy. I'm a fan of a well-written song. I think there were some really phenomenal songs that were written that weren't recorded. There's a couple in particular that come to mind. There's the song that we just started doing live. We started doing kind of an acoustic version of it live called Army of One that my band and I absolutely love. But whenever you have, I mean, you can imagine, you spend a year or two writing that many songs, they kind of trying to process all of that and see through to one single solitary song at a time is really hard. It's just a really intense time for us as the band and musicians and artists to really kind of hone it down and say what's good, what's not. Because cutting the first 25 songs out it wasn't that hard. They were it was obvious. But then I think from about 25 down, we started making some really hard cuts. Some like, man, I really love this song, but the only reason we're not putting it on is because I love this other song a little bit more. And you know how it is, you feel one way about a song today, and then you go 6 months down the road and all of a sudden, you just, you feel totally different about it. So a lot of those songs that didn't get cut, I'm revisiting them right now, kind of slowly getting ready to do, to start writing the next album. I'm revisiting them and seeing, if maybe we made some calls, that we shouldn't have, maybe a song should have been on the album, like Army of One, which will be on our next record. And then also, some of the songs that I wrote a song called Burn It Down, and there's a band called Black Veil Brides that heard it, and they absolutely loved it. And so they're recording it, and they're putting it on their new album. So some of the songs are making their way into other artists' hands as well, which I'm super excited about. And so you never know. I mean, we don't know exactly where it's going to end up. A lot of those songs are really great songs, I think, and I want them to be heard. It just didn't feel right at the time, and so you've got to kind of go with your knee-jerk gut feeling. That's what I've learned. Like, all the research and labels and all the opinions you can get really don't mean anything at the end of the day. It's what's your gut telling you? What's your ear telling you? So maybe it's telling us something different now than it was then, and we'll definitely go back and revisit some of those, and it's looking like at least one or two of them will end up landing on our next album.
You guys have toured with the biggest of names in Christian rock, obviously Skillet and Lecrae, Toby Mac come to mind right away. But also you've also toured with, mainstream artists, Korn, Papa Roach, Avenged Sevenfold, those kinds of things. Is there a different experience on tours or certain things that kind of set apart the Christian-only atmosphere versus the ones that are kind of mixed and melded together?
There is, yeah. I mean, there's massive dynamics between the various industries that we play in, and then there are also massive similarities. And I'll start with the dynamics. The dynamics are there is a lot more prayer, obviously. There's a lot more. So we'll go to the beginning of this year. We were out on tour with Skillet and Third Day. Mandisa was on some of those tours, Peter Furler, bands like that. They're really great to do. You are out with those who are of a like mind, similar beliefs, a common belief system, and that is we each share a faith in Jesus Christ, and we are all trying to honor Him and glorify Him in our music and in our everyday life while we're out on tour. So there's a lot more of that kind of language that's being used on those tours, and a lot more restraint. I would say a lot more fighting against the things of the world that do come against us in everyday life, and then also with the kind of celebrity side of things, there's a lot more pushing back against that,
right?
And trying to honor God and live a life that would be pleasing to Him. And obviously, kind of the juxtaposed position would be when we go out on tour with, like I said, some of those bands that you mentioned, Shinedown or Papa Roach or In This Moment or Filter or whoever we're out with. There's not as much pushing against the the temptations of the world. It's much more widely embraced. Not from my band's perspective, obviously, but just the bands that we tour with. So it's just two completely different animals, and each one has its positives and negatives. It's very true. In the Christian world, we're still dealing with human beings. We're still dealing with sinners, ourselves being some of them, of course. And it is not all bubblegum and rainbows and having Bible studies and prayer meetings backstage. There are real people struggling with real issues. Some of them struggling with sexual addictions, struggling with alcohol addictions, with drug addictions inside the Christian music industry.
Sure.
And I think that a lot of people look at it and kind of tend to elevate the artists that they see on stage to a godlike status and hold them in that place. And then whenever they do make mistakes, it's like the angels have fallen from heaven, because they've been elevated to such a high, unrealistic state. We've made, I like what my friend, what Lacey said. We were just together and she was addressing the audience, and she said, it's not fair to somebody to make them your God and to hold them to such a high status, because eventually your God will let you down, and then you won't have a God anymore. And so I definitely see that. That's a struggle that's in the Christian music industry, that they do elevate you to a godlike status and almost as if you're sinless. And I think that that's really not serving anybody well, the listener or the artist. And so there's that dynamic. But also you jump into the mainstream world, and we're seeing amazing things happen for the gospel there. The lead singer of Papa Roach, Jacoby Shaddix, gave his heart to Christ just shortly before we went on tour with him last year. We just got off tour with a band called Blackstone Cherry, and their lead singer, Chris, and their guitar player, Ben, are newly baptized and have a faith in Jesus Christ that they are working out in the middle of this crazy industry. You think about Brian Head Welch and Fieldy from Korn and the battle that they're fighting out there, and then my band as well. And just so many people out penetrating the darkness with the gospel of Christ, and it is a very, very, very hard thing to do. It can be very discouraging. There's a lot of temptations and struggles that are involved in that, but Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is forcefully advancing, and forceful men lay hold of it, and so we're to be out in that no matter how hard it is. And so there are massive dynamics between the two industries, but my band and we make our music for everybody, because I have
good stuff.
I have friends who are in the faith and share my faith in Jesus Christ, and I also have friends that are gay and lesbian couples and atheists and agnostics, and I absolutely love them, and I hug them, and we spend time together, and though we do not agree on everything for sure, we will love them and embrace them until hopefully the light of Christ will penetrate their lives and make that change that we're all praying happen.
Fantastic stuff from Justin Cordle. Now, Justin, I know we're running a little long on time, but I want to be able to squeeze in, and we've got to promote your Kickstarter campaign and get you guys a ride. I love it. You call it Vandalize with capital VAN. Yeah. We're looking for 4 wheels, folks. You got to get part of another Kickstarter campaign. We do a lot of that stuff, a lot of promotion of Kickstarter work here. Give everybody a little heads up on how to get involved and what to do.
They can go to our Facebook page. We're posting about every day or every other day. And you can see our Kickstarter will be posted there. There'll be a link to our Kickstarter, or you can just go to Kickstarter and search We As Human. It is called Vandalize We As Human. We are raising money for a van, which they have actually met the goal already, so we have put in some stretch goals. We're about to make another ridiculous It's worth going just to see the stupid video we made. It is the worst video in history. It's so dumb. And it's worth going just to see that, even if you don't have any money and can't support. Just go and watch this ridiculous video that we made. And we're about to do a follow-up video the top of this next week with updates and stretch goals in there. So we appreciate all the help we can get, and we have some killer prize packs. I mean, one of them, for $250 donation, you can be in our Take the Bullets Away music video, the official video with Lacey Sturm and myself and my band. Like, you can be in that. So, I mean, we just have a bunch of great stuff we're giving away. So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Good time. Fantastic stuff, folks. You got to be plugged in. Night of Joy right around the corner here, the first weekend of September. You need to have tickets for that. Make sure you check that out. See We As Human there. They're going to be a tour. I mean, that lineup is just phenomenal, folks. You've got to go to check out Night of Joy. And, of course, Dove Awards, October 7th. 2 award nominations. It's just a great time for you. Best rock song, best rock album. We'll be cheering for you. John doesn't need any cheering. He's got two pieces in there. That's not really fair, but we'll let him go to the left slide this time. So.
There we go.
Anyway, Justin Cordle, it's great to finally get a chance to catch up with you and talk to you. And my best to you and the band, and safe travels.
Thank you. All right, thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.